Hello and welcome back to the box office, guys. Sorry for the long layoff. I've had to take some time off to take care of some business and get another setup. Hopefully for you guys, that means more videos on my end, more edits, and more content. Potentially a post-fight breakdown, a post-fight video. We'll see. But without keeping you guys waiting for too long, this weekend we have a fight of Jaime Mungia versus Gabe Rosado. Interesting matchup, mainly because this is a crossroads fight. Gabe Rosado is looking like a stepping stone en route to Jaime Mungia, who Jaime Mungia is looking for himself to be propelled into stardom. This is more of a showcase fight for Mungia, but it is a fight that Gabe Rosado wanted. He has been playing spoiler lately. He pulled off a big upset against Bekdamir. Won't say his last name because I can't say his last name. And a very close split decision to Danny Jacobs. A lot of people thought Gabe Rosado won that fight. Jaime Mungia, he wants to be in the talks with the Canelos, the Benavides. He wants to be the man. Triple G. He wants to be along those names. Now, is that going to happen? Time will tell. But Gabe Rosado is a plus 425, 450, depending on where you look for him, underdog. Meaning you bet $100, you're going to get $425 back if he wins. Jaime Mungia, on the other hand, is a huge favorite. Meaning if you bet $100, you're only going to get back like 10. In order to make $100, you need to bet 1,000. 800 in some sports books, and 5 Dimes had him at a 610 earlier this week. Odds update on a day-by-day basis and what people are betting on. So that 425 for Gabe Rosado might be a little bit closer in some sports books. All depends on where the money's going. Let's take a look at Gabe Rosado a little bit. He is 26 wins, 13 losses. Yes, I said it, 13 losses. In a day and age where the loss, where that perfect record is so valuable, so are those 13 losses, because that means Gabe Rosado is good work for up-and-coming fighters. He has the experience and has the skill set to make it a long night for anyone, really, if he has, he's well prepped and he's good to go. Jaime Mungia, on the other hand, 37-0, 30 wins by knockout, 0 losses, is looking to propel himself, as I've been mentioning. Gabe Rosado has fights against Daniel Jacobs, Triple G, Jermall Charlo, Willie Monroe, Bekdamir, Martin Murray. He has a lot of fights, a lot of experience. So this might be the perfect opportunity to potentially catch lightning in a bottle twice. You never know. For Jaime Mungia, the Vegas favorite, Gabe Rosado, this is potentially his biggest name. Although he did compete against Camilo Seremata, Turiano Johnson, and Gary Sullivan, those aren't necessarily the biggest names in boxing. You ask the casual boxing fan who Turiano Johnson is, most likely you're not going to get a positive response. Gary Sullivan is most notably known for his mustache, and that was a TKO victory. But again, these guys have been over the age of 30. Over the hill, some would say. And we have to start in question if Gabe Rosado is over the hill or too old himself. Is this the perfect opportunity? Is this Jaime Mungia's blueprint to stardom? We're going to see. Although he is very opportunistic, some would say, if everything pans out, Jaime Mungia is still green. He still shows a lot of growing pains in the ring, and he does look like he needs to continue on gaining experience. Has he gained that experience, and will this fight give him more experience to develop as a fighter? We'll see, guys. With this being said, let's take a look at the keys of victory. We're going to go first into the Vegas underdog, Gabe Rosado. Like I mentioned, he is a plus 425 underdog. You bet $100, you're going to get $425 back if he does pull off this massive upset. Now, here's a little thing about Gabe Rosado. He has a lot of experience, and some would say he's getting better with age. So, key number 1, timing. You're going to want to time Jaime Mungia, and the reason behind this is that Jaime Mungia is going to attack. He knows you're on the older, on the fence of, potentially even retiring. So you are a little bit older, seeking to make a career in one more run, but he's going to test your gas tank. So you need to start timing the guy. Timing him with the jab, the right hand, the cross, the hook, the check hook is going to be key. But also keep in mind that you want to attack when he attacks. And that's going to be another key. You want to shoot with him. And remember, you can jab with the jabber, but you don't hook with the hooker. And you need to shoot with him. If you catch and shoot everything, and you catch him, he shoots, you catch, and then you counter and you land your punches. Those punches that you are catching will eventually wear you down. So he is a big dude. He is the bigger guy. He is a younger guy, the stronger guy, some would say. At least that's what's being panned out and what the matchmaker sees. So you have to time him. If he comes in with the 1-2, try to catch him in there with the check hook. Try to catch him with the little uppercut. Try to catch him when he opens up, because he does open up. And you'll start to notice that he does open up a little bit more as the fight progresses. Once fatigue starts stepping in, you can see him opening up more and more, and he does reach from time to time. Like I said, he does show a lot of growing pains, and he does show that he's green. So start timing him. Make him think twice before he comes in with his attack and his pressure. Another one is change levels. What does that mean? Well, changing levels is not just changing levels on your attack. It means changing levels on your defense as well. As I said, dip to your right, dip to your left. If you're going to throw a jab to the body, right? You want to bend on your knees. And you want to be spongy in that ring, because Jaime Mungia does have a tendency to stiffen up from time to time. If you look at that fight with Turiano Johnson, you can see him stiffen up on the inside. Although you might not want to be in there for too long, Gabe, you are going to want to be spongy in there. You want to bend your knees and stay in an athletic position. You do this and you will be able to pivot. You'll be able to get your shots off, and you'll be able to work the inside and the outside. You just got to make sure that you don't become stagnant in there. You don't get lazy in there. And you work every chance that you get. The last point for me for Gabe Rosado is going to be his footwork. And this is going to be very important, because if Jaime Mungia is planning to play bully ball or bully boxing, he is going to come in, and he's going to come in a lot. So you want to angle out. But that doesn't mean like pull straight back with your footwork. That means step to the side, pivot, and then angle out. That's when you take your step back after you've pivoted and you're out of range. If you pull straight back with your feet work, chances are you can still get caught with a looping right hand, a looping left hand, something that you should not be getting caught with, or something that could have been avoided. That's the last thing that we want. And with that feet work, use it to throw feints and set traps. It's going to open up a barrage of opportunities, whether it's in the offensive end or defensive end, to get out of harm's way. Using your footwork is going to be very key. As I mentioned, he stiffens up and sometimes comes in very flat-footed. So if you stay in the athletic position and you're moving around, you'll give yourself a better opportunity to react to certain situations that can lead to opportunistic events. Maybe you land a punch. Maybe you land a right hand to the body. Maybe you do make a miss really wildly and you can counter. We don't know. That's why we fight these fights, right? So if you do those couple things, those couple pointers, you're going to give yourself a chance. And check this out, guys. Something I looked at was 35 years old. His last 2 fights have been very competitive. He won his last fight by knockout. Plus 425. But if he were to knock out Jaime Mungia, and this is maybe speaking a little too much, and you when you go into sports wagering, you have to weigh the pros and the cons. But if he were to win by knockout, plus 900 is the knockout line. Meaning if Gabe Rosado were to catch lightning in a bottle twice and knock out Jaime Mungia, you bet $100, you get 900 back. All right, that's a big, big win if it were to happen. I'm not saying bet the house on that, but maybe a little extra gas money, liven up the bout for you guys. Something to think about. Now, Jaime Mungia, the Vegas favorite, heavy Vegas favorite. Like I said, $1,000 to 100. You have to bet 1,000. He wins, then you get 100. Very hard to make money and to find value. There is, though, a little bit of value on the Mungia knockout line. Now, it's not the greatest value, but the best, or some of the ones that I found, was minus 150 for Mungia to win by knockout. Whether you think that's going to happen or not, Mungia does have a high KO ratio, but no one along the lines of elite status. If you feel like Gabe Rosado is over the hill, that knockout line is for you. It's better value than trying to bet $1,000 to win 100. You bet 150 that he's going to win by knockout, you'll get 100 back. So that's a little bit more of a, okay, let's try to make some money here type of thing. Let's keep it going though. Keys of victory for Jaime Mungia. Obviously, Rosado's a little bit older. He is 35 years old. So as I mentioned, I'm kind of setting the blueprint for both of you. You're going to want to pressure. You do this by force. You don't stay in front of the guy and look at him. You don't let him get off first. You have to be first, and you have to be in his face. Pressure the guy. Use your footwork to keep him honest. Keep him tense. Keep him with his hands up. If you give him enough space so he can relax, move around, keep his hands down, he's going to save a lot of energy, and he's going to make it a little more difficult on you for you to get him out or to win rounds. So, as I was mentioning, pressure, but don't smother your punches either. Toriano Johnson, first couple rounds of that fight, you can see a little uncomfortable on the inside, smothering some punches. You weren't able to get the leverage that you needed to throw the punch. So, keep in mind, dot your I's, cross your T's. Pressure, but don't smother. And with that pressure, don't look for one punch. Don't try to get Rosado out with one punch, land one right hand and in hopes that that's going to be it. Please don't. Do the work. Do the progressive work and break him down round by round. That's going to be a better option of looking for a one-punch knockout. Okay? Another tip is don't come straight in. Yeah, you're going to be applying pressure, but that doesn't mean shoot in a straight line. Don't make it easy on him to guess where your head's going to be when you're coming in so he can catch you with something. Come in behind the jab. Come in with feints. Come in with your footwork and head movement. Okay? Don't stay in front of the guy. Someone I used to look at a lot was Kelly Pavlik. He'd come in and he'd come in behind that jab. He'd try to establish that jab. And once he established that jab, he managed to measure his distance and start landing his right hands. And then once he established that jab and distance, he was in your face for as long as he could. Now, Gabe Rosado is from the school of Bernard Hopkins, and we know how that bout turned out, right? So it's kind of like a give and take. Whoever executes is obviously going to put themselves in a better position to win this bout. But don't come straight in. Come straight in. Come in behind a jab. Come in behind a feint. Come in behind some head movement. Hands up. Don't just stay there and absorb punches as you're coming in. Another tip is go to the body. And this is almost a gimme, right? You would think of the Mexican fighter to come in and always have a consistent body attack, and that's what he's known for. But being a taller opponent is a little harder to get off to the body. I know it's something in Mungia's game that he can do, and he's good at. He just needs to apply it, because if you go to the body early and often, you're going to be investing. And once you invest in those later rounds, you're going to see an older Rosado, a 35-year-old Rosado that looks 35 if you've been investing to the body. You're flattening out his tires so he's not moving around. And so he can't counter and catch you as cleanly. He's going to think about twice. He's going to think twice. He is going to think twice before throwing a punch at you. And you're going to be in the driver's seat at that point. He's going to be broken down, and you're going to manipulate his movements and his footwork if you do go to the body. Last tip for you. Tighten up. Mungia, you have a tendency of opening up a lot when you throw punches. Specifically, as I mentioned before, when you start feeling that fatigue. Tighten up. If you throw a left hook, you're on the phone, throwing a left hook. Make sure that you cover up as much as possible because this man will try to counter. And he will try to catch you how he did to Bekdemir. So if you tighten up, pressure, don't come straight in, and you invest to the body, you're going to give yourself a really good chance of not just winning, but winning by knockout, which is, I think, what you're really trying to do. 35-year-old boxer, career underdog. He's been in a lot of fights, a lot of wars. He's always bloodied up. He's like the Mick Foley of boxing. He's there in a silver platter for you. He's there to propel you to another level with a vicious showcase on your end. Will you or will you not? That's why we fight, right, guys? So, my prediction, and it goes, well, it's not that simple. The reason why it's not that simple is because there's a lot of things to consider. No value on Jaime Mungia. And my prediction is, well, it's not that easy, guys. So, first and foremost, my prediction will be Jaime Mungia should be able to take care of Gabe Rosado, right? Here's the but. There's a lot of value on Gabe Rosado where I'm willing to spend a little bit of gas money. Which means I'm going to spend a little bit of gas money on Gabe Rosado. So I am going to sprinkle a little bit of something on Gabe Rosado. Mungia, you know what? If I am going to play some money, I'm going to definitely place it by KO. I might play the rounds and do second half of the fight, as I feel like Rosado will gas out towards the end of the rounds if he does manage to get to the later half of the rounds. You never know. I do like Rosado by a plus 650 or 425. Gas money never hurt anyone. So common sense is going to tell you Mungia, but you just don't know with the unpredictableness of this sport. Mungia seemed to struggle a little bit against Uriano Johnson. Couldn't necessarily get Gary Sullivan out there, but those guys do endure a lot of punches, I will say. Rosado, how many punches can he endure? Is he going to be taking punches? That's why we fight, right? So, sprinkle a little bit of money on Mungia, and then if you do sprinkle a little bit of money on Gabe Rosado, and if you do plan on taking some money on Mungia, you can go ahead and do it by knockout. That's the only way you're going to get any value on these. But there it is, guys. My prediction is Mungia should win, but you're going to want to sprinkle a little bit of something on Gabe Rosado just because the odds are too tasty for you not to give it a little taste, guys. Welcome back. Hopefully we can do more edits. Hopefully we can get more videos out here. And hopefully we can do a post-fight or a weekend wrap-up video where I cover all the fights, all the bouts, and some of the biggest winners and losers of the weekend. All right, guys, welcome back to the box office. Take care.